Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Beck Roberts, Synthego science writer and communicator, and I'm joined today by Dr. Kevin Holden, our Vice President of Science.
Thanks, Beck, and hello, everybody. This is the first in a series of short videos where we will be gathering expert perspectives on a recent breakthrough in the CRISPR cell and gene therapy field, the approval of Casgevy by the FDA.
Casgevy is an autologous gene-edited cell therapy developed by Vertex Pharmaceuticals and CRISPR Therapeutics for the treatment of both sickle cell disease and beta thalassemia. In December of 2023, the FDA approved Casgevy for the treatment of sickle cell disease, making it the first CRISPR-based medicine to become widely available.
We'll be discussing this key milestone with sickle cell disease researchers, regulatory experts, bioethicists, clinicians, and even patients to get their unique opinions and perspectives on the impact of this approval and what it means for the broader field of CRISPR medicines.
Our first guest is Lina Jamis, Synthego's Associate Director of Regulatory Affairs. As a regulatory specialist in the CRISPR therapy space, Lina has extensive experience dealing with the FDA regulations that govern medicines like Casgevy, the clinical trials process, and the approval of these medicines. So Lina, please tell us about the impact of Casgevy's approval through the eyes of a regulatory expert.
Thanks, Beck. There are a few reasons why this approval is significant in the industry. First of all, not only is it the first approved CRISPR product, but it's the first CRISPR-based therapeutic approved in more than one market. So the US and the UK have both approved this product. And this just indicates that there's a legitimate basis for regulatory approval. So you could consider it objectively a good decision by both markets. In both markets by both regulatory authorities. And it also likely means that regulators are using this experience to develop a framework for how future CRISPR-based products might also be reviewed and regulated. More proof of this might be faster reviews for future products that are similar in origin or mechanism, and that will soon to be shown in the future. And when the FDA and the UK Health Authority validated the approval application for Casgevy, they went through the exercise of confirming all of the elements needed for the scientific assessment of the product. And just getting to this point is a massive step forward in the development of CRISPR regulatory frameworks. So those are a few of the reasons why the approval is significant right now.
So Lina, how can developers of other CRISPR therapies learn from the approval of Casgevy? Was there anything in particular that the developers of Casgevy did to ensure the therapy sailed smoothly through the FDA review process? Or were there any hiccups they experienced that could have been avoided?
There are definitely a few things that CRISPR and Vertex did right. First, they did their due diligence in performing adequate studies to demonstrate control of off-target effects. This was very well demonstrated in the commentary from the AdCom for Casgevy. And in particular, they used two approaches that made their non-clinical safety data more acceptable to reviewers. First of all, they used software algorithms to screen potential off-targets, and they used genome-wide profiling via GuideSeq to predict sites of erroneous edits, upon which they followed up to profile these. And then they also sequenced edited cells from donors to ensure that variants detected using their in silico approaches were not carried by those donors. And more evidence for this is during the AdCom, one panelist actually said that Vertex and CRISPR had done as much as could be expected in testing for off-target editing. And realistically, this will likely evolve over time, but CRISPR and Vertex really did set the baseline for expectations for non-clinical safety data requirements. The other thing that Vertex and CRISPR probably did, that I'm assuming but can't confirm, is that they likely also learned from the experiences of other developers, where FDA in particular had put some of other concurrent experimental drugs, other CAR-Ts, for example, on clinical holds, while also requesting more data around off-target edits. And despite the negative optics of being put on a clinical hold, just industry-wide, this kind of request probably sends the right message to other developers like CRISPR and Vertex that, at the time were probably listening, and they heard the message that FDA really wants to see non-clinical safety data. And that is for sure also true of other global health regulators as well.
That's fantastic. Thanks so much, Lina, for joining us and sharing your perspective. And thanks to everyone watching. Don't forget to tune in for our next video where we'll continue discussing the approval of Casgevy with experts in the CRISPR therapy space.